Alright, at some point of your software development journey, you'll face a code editor named Vim. Now, people have different reactions, but the majority I've seen when they start in the beginning is they get scared by Vim. As soon as they type vim and then the file name, they freak out and they're like, oh, how do I get out? And then what happens after that is that they somehow try to find a way to escape it, and then they say, no, I want to stick with Nano. I'm here to change that so that at least you know your way around using Vim and you don't have to resort to using Nano. Nothing's wrong with using Nano, but I believe in many documentations I've seen is that they use Vim, and plus once you use it, you seem to start to like it, and then some people have went to the extent to use it as their main code editor. So let's get started. So you may be familiar on how to open Vim, as you may have experienced it. If you haven't, you just type in vim. Alright, so you're in Vim, and then there's a help guide that gives you a direction of where you want to go. But generally speaking, you open a file rather than just Vim. Alright, so say you want to create a file. You could do that by using touch and then the file name, or you could use Vim, create the file, and then start editing straight away. So let's do test2.txt because test.txt has some content that we'll go over, and then we'll open it. Great, you're in. As you can see, I'm trying to type in, I can't. How would we do that? Well, we can start off by pressing I, and then you could start typing. This is a test document, and then when you finish, you press escape, and then you're back to the default mode. Now let's say you want to append it, so you want to continue writing. You have two options. You can press A, which is after the cursor, or if you want the current cursor position, you can press I, and then you can start typing again. Useful, huh? Now let's say you want to go and edit at the beginning of the line. Do you want to go all the way pressing left, 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 left? Or you could use Shift I, capital I, and then your cursor starts at the beginning of the line, and then you can type in whatever you want. What if you want to do it at the end of the line and you want to append it and then move forward, and you're at the beginning of the line? Do you go right? No, you can use Shift A, and then you can start typing again. Typing to continue my paragraph. Great, and then I'll press escape, and then we're back on default mode. Let's say we want to create a new line. You could do it within the append or insert mode and press enter, or you could use O and then start typing again. Alright, let's create a file that contains some lorem ipsum text. So we'll just do vim test.txt. 2 paragraphs should be enough. And as you can see, I'm in the middle of the cursor. Now, if I want to go in the beginning, we know how to insert in the beginning. What if we want to not insert, just go at the start of the text doing nothing? You can press 0 and you'll go at the start of the line. Now let's say if you want to go at the end of the line, then you can do Shift $, Shift 4, and then you'll be greeted at the end of the line. Now, what if you want to save this file? I just made this test.txt file. What if I would just want to save it? Now, you may encounter this issue when you were first exposed to Vim, and then you were freaking out, and then you didn't know how to put out initially, and then you found a way through. So we're gonna press escape, and then we're gonna do :WQ. Oops. Right quit, and then do ls, and then we'll do our vim test.txt. There we go, we have it. So let's say you're in the middle of the word and you want to append, say, at the end of this word, but you don't want to go into the next word. Then use EA and then start typing at the end of the word. Now, I just wrote a load of garbage. What do I do to undo this change? You press U, you're back to the previous state. So what if I want to replace a single character? Let's say we want to replace, let's say, R with an S. So you press R and replace this with an S. And then notice you don't, if you type, it will go back to the default mode. Let's say if you want to replace more than one character, then we'll do Shift R, and then let's type in Vim, and there we go, we replaced it. Now you may see there's some separation between these two paragraphs. What do we do in this case? We do Shift $ to get to the end of the word, and then we'll do Shift J, and then our lines will be more closer. Now let's say if we want to replace the entire line, we'll do CC, and then you may notice that the text has disappeared. So all this paragraph was in one line. There wasn't any spaces. So say this is a line replacement. I can add more words to finish this paragraph. Unfortunately, choose not to. Oh wait, I already have. Alright, decent paragraph. Now, let's say if I want to replace an entire word. Let's pick a word. Alright, we'll rewrite this word but with an additional word. So let's say, so to replace an entire word, do CIW, and notice that word's gone. So we'll say whole line, and you're typing as if you're in the insert mode or append mode. Now let's say if I want to remove a character, I could just press X and that character's gone. There's a space, we'll say another X. Now notice I have to do that 2 times. There is a way where I can do it in one go. Now press U to undo what changes, and we'll write 2x to remove 2 character positions. Alright, so let's say if I want to delete a line. Now by deleting we're doing a cut, so I'll press DD, lines removed. Now let's say if we want to bring our text back, we can simply bring it back by using P. as I said just before, we are using DD to cut the text. So let's add some more text in here. So I'll get some more text from Lorem Ipsum. So we paste this text in, and let's say I want to delete, let's say 3 lines. So remember, all of these are 1 line. So similarly, how you removed singular characters using X, we could do 3DD, 3 lines are gone. Now you may notice that this last text wasn't gone. That was because there was a space between them. I'll bring it back, and let's go at the beginning of the file. Let's say we want to delete lines 3 to 5. So we're in the default mode, we'll go colon, and we'll give a range 3, 5, and then type in D, delete, enter, and then go on. So let's say you want to delete some lines that contains some sort of characters, certain pattern. So we'll do colon G slash, and let's take AM as the word that we're looking for, and then slash D for deleting, and that was pretty much this whole document, but it works. So let's say you want to do the inverse now. It's pretty much the same command, but we have an exclamation mark. So let's say you want to delete lines that does not contain your pattern. It's a similar command, but we have a not sign when we type our global, and then the pattern. So we had AM as the example, and then D, and it removes that 1 line that I wrote earlier in the video. Now let's say you want to do a find and replace. Now this is very common because you don't want to keep scrolling down and then trying to find the specific piece of text that you want to find and replace, and you see that they're in multiple places. Then you'll do colon %s search the target word, so we'll use AM as an example, and what are we going to replace it with? Test, and then global, and then C, we have made multiple alterations, and you see test here. Where else do we see? Now let's say if you want to search the word, so we'll do colon slash, and then the pattern, so you wrote test, it goes to this null test, then we have a Q test here, and then we have it on this line as well. Now let's say you don't want to replace all the words at once, so we'll do U to undo our changes. By the way, if you want to redo your changes, press Ctrl R, and then you'll go forward. But I'll press U to undo my changes, and then we can use the same command again, %s, and then say we were replacing AM with test, and then the only difference would be is adding the C, and then for each word that has the letters AM, you can replace one by one, and then you can skip some, and then replace And then there's your replacement. So let's say if you want to copy a line, so we can copy this whole line by using YY, and then let's go at the end, so shift 4 or $, do an O to add a new line, and then do P, and there we go. Now I'll undo, and let's say if you want to get the first 2 lines, so we'll do 2YY. I think you're getting the hang of it now, and then P. There we go. So let's say if you want to repeat a specific command that you've last used and you want to use it again, you can use dot, and the same operation will happen. Keep pressing it again, it will happen again and again and again. Since our last command was a put, it will keep putting unless we enter a new command. Alright, so these were the basics for using Vim commands in a basic text file. Now we'll save this using right quit and or WQ, and let's use a real life example, so which is an nginx conf. Alright, so here's an nginx config example. Nothing wrong, but it's a template to use. So let's change some of the variables. So we'll do diw. Notice domain 1 is gone, and we'll do, rename our domain test domain. Now I could do this for every one of them, but what did we just learn? You could replace it by using global patterns, so we could do a search, find, and replace. So we'll do colon %s, what are we finding? Domain 1, what are we replacing with? Test domain. And then we're going to do this globally, and I believe it's safe in the current situation to replace all, so I'll press enter and they're all replaced. Alright, cool. Now hypothetically speaking, I'm not saying that you would do this in your real nginx config file, but I want to delete these 2 lines. How would I do that? Alright, hypothetically speaking, what if we want to remove this whole block? How would we delete that? We'll do a 3dd and then on. Now that you know some of the basics of using Vim, I encourage you to try some of these commands out and keep practicing. The more you use it, the more you'll get used to it, and maybe, possibly, you might like it. Alright, thank you very much, and see you later.